Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. November 30th, 2017.
2:04 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, let me ask you point blank before I even get into the monologue. Should Trump have tweeted out those 3 anti-Muslim videos from the Britain First group, labeled in the media anyway as a, quote, far-right nationalist group? It has now created an incredible public uproar, a huge media backlash, and now an open split with the Prime Minister of Britain and, frankly, many of the British political parties, the entire British political class. So if you believe the answer is yes, he should have tweeted them out, because the truth is the truth is the truth about Islam, text the letter A to 680-680. If you believe he shouldn't have tweeted them out, A, because of the source of the videos from that group, B, it appears that one of the videos may not be authentic, and really, 3, that it's created an unnecessary diplomatic rupture, or at least a strain with Britain. In other words, no, he shouldn't have done it, bad move. Text the letter B to 680-680. As always, you can vote online at WRKO.com. So, here is exactly what happened. Several days ago, on Twitter, Trump retweeted a series of posts from the Britain First Party, in particular, from their deputy leader, Jada Franson. She is a Britain First activist, and in particular, she describes herself as a British nationalist. She says that she is an avowed Christian. In fact, she's often seen in pictures with a huge cross. And she says that she wants to warn Britain about the impending threat of Sharia law and massive Muslim migration and the gradual Islamization of Britain. And so Trump retweeted these posts, first sent out by Jada Franson, the Britain First group. As I said, they're an anti-Islam, anti-mass migration party. And the 3 are as follows. 1 is a video of a boy being thrown off of a roof. This occurred in Egypt by members of the Muslim Brotherhood. They threw him off a roof because he was a Christian, and then they killed him. When he fell on the ground, they stomped on him. This was after the military came in and swept the Muslim Brotherhood from power in a coup. So they lashed out at the Egyptian cops. One of them was a child. That video appears to be authentic and true. There is a second video of an imam who is going on about Allahu Akbar, which means Allah is supreme or Allah is great, denouncing other religions and other religious figures, especially Jesus and the Virgin Mary. He is holding a statue of the Virgin Mary, and then he starts smashing the statue. Because for Muslims, that is considered idolatry. The only person you can worship is Allah and nobody else. That video, people are not sure of its authenticity. Either way, they're just not sure. The first one is definitely authentic. The second one, they don't know. The third one is a video that occurred in the Netherlands, whereby a Dutch boy was on crutches, attacked by what the activist says is a Muslim migrant, who then beat him up. And then other members of the group then stomped him as well. However, this appears to be a false video. It's not an authentic video. It appears to be staged. The boy that attacked the Dutch boy with the crutches appears to be Dutch himself, does not seem to be Muslim at all, and it may have been just a big spoof and a big joke. So, one video was false. A second video was, we don't know if it's true or not. The first video is clearly false. Clearly true. The first video is clearly authentic. The second video, we don't know. The third video, clearly false. Now, what the media is doing, what British Prime Minister May is doing, the British media, even the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, the first Muslim Mayor of London, are going on about how dare Trump have used anything from Britain first. In other words, they're not indicting the message, in other words, that Islam is dangerous and that it is often violent, especially to non-Muslims. They're going on about the process. Why did he take anything from a supposedly discredited group like Britain First, which they say is a racist group, an Islamophobic group, and that this is a sign of him, again, they say, allying or making strange bedfellows with white nationalists and supremacists, with racists. And so British Prime Minister Theresa May has now come out, blasted President Trump, saying that what he did was wrong, and that all he's doing is now sowing division and dissension within the United Kingdom, and that for him to have any affiliation with Britain First, she says, is absolutely disgusting and shameful and beyond the pale. In fact, according to British Prime Minister May, I'm going to read to you now what she said, Britain First goes against all of the values that make Britain, modern Great Britain, what it is. Respect, tolerance, and dare I say it, British common decency. And so she says why Trump would have anything to do with them or take posts from them or take videos from them, she says is deeply offensive, unbelievably irresponsible and reckless, and she believes the president should be ashamed of himself. The mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, has come out and said that Trump is planning to visit Britain in the next couple of months, that he should be banned from even entering Britain. Now you have British members of parliament who are not just saying that he should be banned from entering Britain, but listen to this, that if he does land on British soil, they want President Trump to be, listen to this, arrested. Why? For the crime of inciting racial hatred and for being involved with a hate group like Britain First. So now they're even calling for Trump's arrest based on these three videos. Let me make a couple of points, and then I want to ask you, 617-266-6868. What I find absolutely incredible is that, and this is a fact, there can be no disputing this, there are now millions and millions of Muslims in the United Kingdom. Many of them recent Muslim refugees or recent Muslim migrants. In fact, in East London, they're in the majority. In Birmingham, in Manchester, they're increasingly becoming a majority. In certain areas, they're basically no-go zones. So here you do have a swelling, growing Muslim population, 40% of whom have admitted in opinion polls that they sympathize with radical Islamic terrorism and that they want Sharia law to be imposed. That's just those that admit it in opinion polls. Most people in Britain admit the real number is way over a majority of British Muslims. How come Theresa May never makes the obvious point that these Muslim fundamentalists, millions of them now in Great Britain, they don't adhere to modern British values, respect, tolerance, and dare I say it, British common decency. They don't have respect. They don't have respect. They don't have tolerance for gays, lesbians, transgendered people, Jews, Christians, non-Muslims. So why is it only Britain First that is somehow beyond the pale? But many of these Muslim groups and Muslim imams and Muslim communities are not, by her own definition. Trump then lowered the boom on Theresa May, tweeting back that she should not concern herself about the United States, or with him, she should be concerning herself with radical Islamic terrorism, which is proliferating in Britain. As he put it, we're doing just fine. And he's completely right. Rather than going on about the feelings of the British Muslim population or the mayor of London, or trying to score political points because of he retweeted some posts from Britain First, she should be concerned about one terrorist atrocity after another over the last couple of years, and the growing Islamic terrorist threat, not just in Britain, but all over Europe. But to me, it gets to an even more fundamental point. Look how the British political class, look at how our own media elites are so desperate to bend over backwards to appease jihad and Sharia law. Because what those videos were complaining about was the Islamic values and the Islamic practices of jihad and Sharia law. And how come Theresa May will not condemn that? How come the British political class will not condemn that? How come the mainstream media here will not condemn that? And one of the greatest things to me about President Trump, and why, to me, I keep thanking the good Lord that he was elected in November 2016, because what he's done is he's now reversed the entire narrative. Under George W. Bush and then later Barack Hussein Obama, the narrative was Islam is a religion of peace. And that's all they kept saying again and again. Islam is a religion of peace. And what Donald Trump is saying is, no, 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 no. There is a huge strain of Islam that is the religion of violence, the religion of Sharia law, the religion of terrorism, and the religion of conquest. Now, as to the actual videos themselves, let's cut to the chase. Were the Muslim Brotherhood not massacring Christians all across Egypt after Obama installed them in power? Yes. Have not radical Islamists been rampaging across not just Egypt, Iraq, Syria, Libya, North Africa, slaughtering Christians by the millions, in one of the great genocides of our time? True. Are boys being thrown off of rooftops? True. In fact, gays and lesbians are being thrown off of rooftops, but let that go. Yazidis are being thrown off of rooftops, but let that go. Now, as for destroying the Virgin Mary, have not Christian churches been burned to the ground? True. Have not crosses been destroyed? True. Have not Christian statues, including those of Jesus, St. Joseph, Mary, all across the Middle East, been utterly destroyed and blown up by ISIS and other radical Islamic terrorists? Yes. Okay. So then we get to the third video, even if it was a staged video. Okay, it was a hoax or an inauthentic video. Have there not been numerous assaults of native British citizens by radical Islamists in Britain? Yes. Or in the Netherlands? Yes. Or in Germany? Yes. Or in Sweden? Yes. In fact, there has been so much going on with these Muslim refugees that there has been one rape scandal and sexual assault after another, to the point now that Stockholm has become the rape capital of the West. Overwhelmingly, Muslim refugees raping Swedish women. The same thing is going on in Germany. The same thing is going on in Italy. The same thing is going on in France. The same thing is going on in England. This is not even debatable. The evidence is overwhelming. So, was the core of Trump's message correct? Yes. What are we talking about? Now, just because you use videos from a group, and honestly, I don't know Britain First, I don't know this woman, Jada Franson, I don't know her from a hole in the wall. Just because you use information from a certain group doesn't mean you identify or endorse or support everything that group stands for. Let me give you the most obvious logical example. They tried to humiliate my mentor, Professor Jerry Kelebay, who's a professor at McGill, because he was an anti-communist. He was of Ukrainian descent. He hated the Soviet Union, hated communism. And so the professors at one of these retreats pulled out one page from Mein Kampf, whereby Hitler was going on about how Bolshevism was evil, and Bolshevism had resulted in the death of millions of people. And so they read those two sentences to him. And they said, do you agree that Bolshevism is evil? Do you agree it killed millions of people? And he looked at him and he said, yeah. Well, then you agree with Adolf Hitler. Hence, you're a Nazi and a Hitlerite. And as he told me, the entire faculty started laughing because they wanted to humiliate him. He just smoked his cigarette. They used to smoke in those days. This was the 1970s. Smoked his cigarette, looked right at him and said, you know, Hitler said good morning. I say good morning. Doesn't mean I support Adolf Hitler. Most of the book is garbage. It's anti-Semitic dreck. But those two sentences, that comment about communism and Bolshevism, yes, it's correct. In other words, even a stopped clock can be right twice a day. I don't know Britain First. I don't know this woman. But what I do know is this. Radical Islamic terrorism is a scourge upon Britain, upon Europe, and upon the West. And Islam itself is not a religion of peace. There is a huge strain of it that is the religion of violence, terrorism, and war. And it's about time we had a president who wasn't afraid to say so. Agree, disagree, 617-266-6868. Your calls. Next. Trump in hot water, not just with the media here, but with the British political class, British Prime Minister Theresa May, saying that he had no business and in fact was inciting racial hatred, they say. Religious racial hatred by reposting tweets, 3 videos in particular, from the Britain First Party, an anti-mass immigration, anti-Islam party. Agree, disagree, 617-266-6868. Should he have retweeted those posts? Brittany, I know you want to weigh in on this, and you say you disagree with me.
A little bit. I'm not, just hear me out. I'm not trying to contradict you or anything like that. However, Donald Trump is Mr. Fake News. Now, if one of these videos are fake, they're not real, then doesn't he kind of contradict himself here? Since he rails against fake news and the fake news media and everything?
So you're saying, in some sense, he's being hypocritical here.
Yes.
See, to be honest, that's why he needs to have somebody with him when he makes these tweets. Because I would have said to him, Mr. President, look, I think your points are dead on. Your message, the content of what you're trying to say is dead on. But you can't trust these videos to be authentic.
Right.
Let's vet them. Let's check them before you put them out on Twitter.
Right, I agree with you.
So I'd love it if he had like an editor, if I can put it that way. A second person to kind of look things over before he sends something out.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you want to fight on the highest ground possible. No, I agree with you, Brittany. 617-266-6868. Mike in Tewksbury. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, I got one better for you, Jeff. Instead of retweeting those videos, why doesn't he just go back to news footage from channel ABC, NBC, or CBS over the last 50 years and pulled out the hundreds of stories that terrorists have made across this world in the name of Islam? from the Olympics where they held the Jewish people and killed the Jewish team, to the taking of the TWA flight, to the bombing of the USS Cole, to the first World Trade Center bombing, to the 9/11. Where does it stop? What do they have to see?
Mike, do you think he made a mistake in tweeting out at least one video that we now know to be maybe a hoax, false, whatever?
It's sloppy. It's very sloppy. He does a lot of sloppy things.
You think you think he's just too impulsive? He sees something and boom, he's got to go with it.
I don't know about that. I would say he's pretty calculated in most of his moves. I mean, even though we might not think he is, he's a pretty shrewd businessman. So I probably think he's pretty calculated. That every move has a butterfly wing effect in his life. That he's doing something to create something to get somewhere. But I think he's wrong at it. I think he's wrong for calling Pocahontas in front of the Native American culture. But I mean, he does a lot of dumb things. But the point is that why do we don't need Donald Trump to show us the atrocities over the last 50 years. It's right in front of our face. I mean, he's not telling us anything we don't know.
Mike, thank you very much for that call. Carol in Bridgewater. Go ahead, Carol.
Yes, even though he could have been more factual, I think it's good to remind the U.S., the England, and the world about all the atrocities and potential of atrocities out there with Islam. And, as far as Theresa May goes, I think that she, I have friends in England and stuff, and they are horrified by what's going on. They don't agree with things. They say that they cover it up. I'd like to know where the money trail is from her to Soros being part of the EU, because she downplays things. She's not a conservative. She's a phony conservative, and she's definitely benefiting somewhere from allowing open borders and pushing this tripe.
Thank you, Carol. Look, to me, look, I think they call her a kino, a conservative in name only. We call them rhinos here. Well, she's called a kino in Britain, and she really is a phony conservative. There's no question about that. No, to me, what I think is really disturbing is not Trump, because, look, it's sloppy, it's impulsive, whatever. Fine, okay. But the gist of his point is dead on. What I find incredible is here you have the Prime Minister of Britain in Jordan. She's now on a three-country tour in the Middle East. So she's in Jordan, publicly chastising and giving a tongue lashing to the president, saying that he owes her and Britain an apology. In fact, saying that he was wrong and stupid to have done what he did. And then you have British politicians like the Mayor of London and members of Parliament saying that Trump should either be banned from coming to Britain, or if he does, that he should be arrested for inciting racial hatred. Let me get this straight. You want to arrest a president of the United States or ban him from coming from England because you disagree with his posts or his tweets? After everything we've done for you? If it wasn't for us, you would be speaking German today, you bunch of ingrates. So my question to you is this. Did Trump do the wrong thing, or was he right to retweet those videos? 617-266-6868. My friends, let's hear from Evan Heidenrich in the WRKO newsroom, where he has the latest on the Senate tax plan. The plan is getting support from an important swing vote. Take it away, Evan. 2:36 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, be the sixth caller right now to 617-266-6868 to win 2 water park day passes. Wow, maybe I should be calling in. The Bambinos would love that. Spend the day at Cape Cod's newest year-round attraction, the Cape Codder Indoor Water Park, located at the Cape Codder Resort and Spa in Hyannis. There's something for everyone with 4 body slides from 50 feet to 160 feet. the Stormy River, a wave pool, and the Pirates Bay Kiddie area. Reserve your day in advance at CapeCodWaterPark.com. That's the 6th caller right now to win 2 water park day passes. 617-266-6868. Brittany, if you can, maybe try to,
Do you want me to try to pull some strings for you?
Yeah, try to get me in there a little bit if you can. Try to, muscle somebody out and say, what the hell? Grace got the tickets. How did she get the tickets?
Oh, you want me to rig it?
Let me do an Elizabeth Warren. Let's rig the system.
Okay.
Okay, I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm just kidding. Okay. My friends, it's our annual tradition here. We do it every year. The WRKO Gift-a-thon to benefit Widiko Children's Services. You can put a smile on a child's face. You can actually be their Santa Claus. Many children in the greater Boston area will be getting nothing, not even a lump of coal for Christmas. You can give them a little gift, a bag of chips, whatever it may be, a little toy. Just go to WRKO.com/gift to purchase a gift and see all the different children's wish lists. It's sponsored by MyPillow, the most comfortable pillow you'll ever sleep on. Call 1-800-972-2316 or go to mypillow.com and enter code word WRKO. And so today's profile is that of Jordan. Jordan is a wonderful little boy. He loves to play, he says, football and basketball. He lives with his mom, dad, grandmother, and 2 sisters. They really do not have very much. He says unless somebody buys him some kind of a small gift, Jordan will be getting nothing for Christmas. As I said, he loves to play football. He loves basketball. He's a boy's boy. He says his dream one day, God willing, is to play professional football or basketball. He says he loves to play with his father, his mother, his sisters, and his friends at the park. So please, if you can, think of Jordan. Go to WRKO.com/gift to purchase really a $5 gift. It doesn't have to be much, but whatever you get him, I'm telling you, will be incredibly appreciated. And you can see all the different children's wish lists. Okay. Huge scandal, diplomatic international scandal erupting over President Trump's decision to retweet 3 anti-Muslim videos. 1, completely authentic. 2, they're not sure. The third one appears to have been, false or a hoax. Primarily, these 3 videos came from what they call a far-right, anti-Islam, anti-mass migration party, Britain First. Theresa May has now publicly attacked President Trump, calling him stupid, calling him wrong, saying he should be ashamed of himself. Members of Parliament, including the Mayor of London, want Trump banned from Britain, prevent him from coming to the country in the next couple of months. And some even want him arrested once he lands on British soil for allegedly inciting racial or religious hatred. Okay. If I'm the President of the United States, very simple. There's something called freedom of speech. Maybe you don't have it in England anymore because you have raised the flag of appeasement again. I guess your Theresa May must be related to Neville Chamberlain. And because you will not speak out against radical Islam and you're trying to criminalize that, doesn't mean we do that here in America. Point number 2. After everything we've done for you, you dare to threaten to arrest the President of the United States or ban him from British soil because you disagree with one of his tweets? Which, by the way, in its substance is 1,000% accurate. Whether the videos are authentic or not, the points behind them are 1,000% correct. So, have you forgotten Normandy already? Have you forgotten the London Blitz already? Have you forgotten Verdun and the Somme and how many British boys were slaughtered by the Germans in World War I? And you would have lost that war? Had the Americans, had we not come in? Have you forgotten World War II and Adolf Hitler that quick? With all due respect, look at these bunch of ingrates. They've been riding our back for over 100 years. We pulled their chestnuts out of the fire, not once, not twice, but with the Cold War 3 times. And now you dare to threaten to arrest the President of the United States? Are you freaking kidding me? And notice, whenever they want something done, then all of a sudden it's the special relationship. Then, oh, but we're special. Oh, it's special. We go all the way back to the Revolutionary War. We're the mother country, and you're our most important former colony. Oh, it's something we're tied by history, culture, language. Oh, we're tied at the hip. And now you want to arrest one of our presidents? Very simple. No, really, very simple. The special relationship is over. You've got to choose. Take your pick. Take your pick. Either you choose Islam or you choose the United States. It's really that simple. Because no matter how many names you call President Trump, no matter how much you want to ban speech that criticizes Islam, the reality of Islam is there. It's not going away. So you can ban him, you can threaten to arrest him, you can pass hate crime legislation, you can do whatever you want. The Muslim migrants keep pouring in. Britain continues to be Islamicized. Sharia law continues to grow. You're going to have more terrorist attacks, and the reality of Islam is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got news for you, Theresa May and Sadiq Khan and all of you other ingrates. The next time, and there will be a next time, your homeland is in mortal peril, probably because of all the Muslim insurgents you've brought in. Don't come crying to Uncle Sam. We're not going to bail you out this time. We're going to say, nah, you know what? You threatened to arrest our president while she was trying to warn you about the truth. You know what? You love Neville Chamberlain. You can keep Neville Chamberlain. Paul in Quincy. Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, Jeff. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I certainly can. So I'm from the UK. I live in the US. Obviously, I'm a US citizen for the last 3 years. Theresa May, she's full of nonsense. What she's doing is, they're talking about arresting Donald Trump for something that he didn't do in the UK. They have no say. They have no jurisdiction. It's nonsense. And yes, the UK is a country that bows down to Islam. They allow Islamic groups to commit masses of crimes. If you Google Gordon, Burnley, Keithley, the sex abuse scandal of young girls, anybody who mentions this in the UK is deemed a racist. And these are young teenage girls, 12, 13, 14. This is a huge attack that's been going on for many years, and nobody can say anything about it.
Paul, let me ask you this. And by the way, I love your accent. I swear, the British accent, the Aussie accent, and I don't know why, but the accent from the Carolinas, North and South Carolina, are to me the sweetest accents in the world. But let that go, Paul, okay? I love your accent. I have to ask you this. As an Anglophile, I'm being very candid with you, okay? Somebody who was born and raised in Canada, loves the Magna Carta, loves common law, loves representative government, loves everything the British has, capitalism, the rule of law, I could go on. Shakespeare, George Orwell, who gave us Winston Churchill. What happened?
Churchill's birthday today.
My point, Paul, what happened to the British people? What happened to the British people who fought off Napoleon, who won World War I, who won World War II, who were known for their stiff upper lip? What's happened in the last 20, 30 years that they're now laying down in front of Islam?
The Bevan Report 1944 turned British people into a different society dependent on their government. Pretty much, that was it.
Paul, your cell phone, can you repeat that? Because your cell phone died, we lost contact there for a second.
As of 1944, the Bevan report, everything brought in with the Bevan Report, 1944, created the NHS, created a strong, powerful, and large government, turned the United Kingdom population into a dependent society, dependent entirely on the government, and weakened the people and the will of the people.
So, Paul, you're saying essentially socialism destroyed Britain.
Socialism destroyed Britain. That is exactly what happened. And like I say, now I live in the United States. I have no time for the United Kingdom. I visit. When I go, I don't go to England anymore. I go to Scotland because it's a little bit of pride left there.
Paul, welcome to the USA, my friend. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Take care, Paul. Don't be a stranger. Please call again.
I will.
Take care, buddy. Bruce in Woburn. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, Jeff, I totally agree with the tweets. I mean, the liberal moonbat snowflake media in England, in the United States, is turning this beautiful, great country into the land of make-believe. Nothing that's happening is really happening, you know. We are under attack by Islam, extremists. But we are. And they want us to believe that global warming is the most important threat to us. Listen, we're going to have another attack here, and I'm not saying I want it, but it's coming, and there's nothing we can do about it because they don't want to. They just want to let it happen. Everything's fine with everything's just make believe it's not happening. It's really not real, Jeff.
Bruce, thank you for that call. Well, look, to me, what I find shocking is this, okay? Did they not just have a recent terrorist attack? I mean, we keep covering it here on this show, on the bridge over the Thames, where jihadists with knives were slashing tourists, people in pubs, bars, restaurants, right there in England. And in fact, it came out that Theresa May, they knew about these terrorists, they knew about these jihadists, and they deliberately coddled them and covered it up and looked the other way. By the way, not that we're better. We did it with the Tsarnaevs, the FBI. We turned the other way. We do the same thing here. But for her to see her people being slaughtered on the street, some of them actually beheaded, and then turn around and say, you're inciting religious and racial hatred? Hey, Teresa, stop letting all of them in. The only ones that are inciting real religious and racial hatred are the ones that are slaughtering your own people on the streets. And so I've said this before, and I'll say it again. A liberal would rather commit suicide than stand up to radical Islam. And what Theresa May is now doing, and the entire British establishment, is they have now put Great Britain on the path to national suicide. And say what you want about Trump, he's not George W. Bush, he's not Barack Hussein Obama, he's not Angela Merkel, and he's not Theresa May. If he's going to go down, we're going to go down fighting. So what he's saying is, you guys want to commit suicide, that's your business, but we're not jumping off that cliff. Owen in Chelsea, go ahead, Owen.
Yes, Jeff, I know. I am saying Donald Trump is wrong.
Okay, why?
Because it's like if you interfere and speak something which offends somebody, you just know that that is wrong.
But what if it's true?
What if, well, that's a different case.
But that's what I mean. Isn't truth sometimes offensive? I mean, Owen, isn't that the point of the First Amendment? Is not to defend inoffensive speech, but to defend offensive speech. In other words, if what he's saying about Islam is true, even though some people find it offensive, if it's true, it's true. If all we're going to say is you can only say something that's inoffensive, then, Owen, we're not going to say anything meaningful to anybody.
Well, if I can't prove something, I didn't want to really intervene or really make mention of it. And another point again, I mean, I have to listen to you, and I know you're a disciplined man. And if I can tell you the truth, you're even a more disciplined and professional man than Donald Trump.
Well, Owen, look, your second point, and thank you for that call. Look, I'm just being candid with you. You know, I support the president on many issues. I like his America First agenda. Look, I think your case is stronger if you're going to be vetting the stuff that you're retweeting. Because it's not just Jeff Kuhner that's retweeting or Brittany or Jared or whatever. It's the president of the United States. So when this guy retweets something, look, he's got 43 million followers on Twitter. He's the president. So they're going to take everything what he says very seriously. So, yes, would I like it that he would vet it a bit more, be less sloppy? In other words, look, there are so many actual instances of real Muslim oppression and murder of Christians or non-Muslims. You don't have to rely on videos from Britain First if you haven't properly edited or vetted them or checked them out. So I do think on that score, you're right. The president, look, he's got to be a bit more, he can't be so trigger happy on Twitter. And that's why I've said, I like Bannon. Let Bannon, before when he was in the White House, let him be his kind of right-hand man, his wingman. Say, Mr. President, let's look at those videos first before you send them out. But on the substance of the issue, Trump is right and Theresa May is wrong. 256, 257 now on the great WRKO. Okay, Brittany, off the air. We were going to have Ambassador Bolton on tomorrow, usually as we often do on Friday. However, he's not going to be able to make it. Brittany just told me off air because he's in England, in Britain, and he's going to be on a plane coming back. So we were just joking around, and I said, boy, I hope the poor guy doesn't get beheaded when he's down there. I hope he survives. And I said, whatever you do, don't eat the food. And she says, well, why? I'm like, what do you mean, why?
And then I forgot that it's so bad.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh, my God. The food is... See, that's I got to tell you, when Grace and I went to England, the Indian food is to die for. Oh, like these local little Indian restaurants or whatever, phenomenal. But traditional English food, oh, my God. Oh, I mean, it's a taste bud killer. I mean, really, believe me. You go to England for the history, the culture, whatever. If you like to drink, they got a great pub atmosphere, a great pub life, but you don't go there for the culinary experience. Believe me. Lose weight. Have a good steak before you go and only eat toast and jam. I'm telling you, it's the only thing that tastes good. You come back, you're about 20 pounds lighter, and you go, it's a great vacation. Shelley in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Shelley.
Hi, Jeff. Do you remember some years ago what happened to Theo Van Gogh in the Netherlands? He's a descendant of Vincent Van Gogh. He was stabbed to death on a Dutch street by a homegrown Dutch terrorist for making the 11-minute documentary called Submission,
yes,
a film that's critical of Islam for its treatment of women, for its utter lack of regard to human rights.
Yes.
Over and over again, we turn away from events like those. We want to pretend that all's well. We want to forget. And unfortunately, liberals reserve their most severe criticism for conservatives because American and UK conservatives will never attack them with machetes, cars, bombs, or throws from rooftops, no matter what liberals call conservatives. And over again, liberals call these religious murders cowardly. That's about it. Actually, I think it's the liberals who are the true cowards because liberals don't have the clarity and the courage to stand up for human rights and freedom. I think the British are just trying to keep the lid on over there. Thank you for taking my call.
Shelley, I wish I could give you a coffee mug or a T-shirt or something, because that was one of the most concise, coherent, logical, and brilliant calls I've had. They don't give me anything, Shelley, because I'm not that important. But I swear, if I had a baseball cap or a T-shirt or a coffee mug, I would give it to you. Can you do me a favor? Can you call again, please?
I will love to. And, Jeff, I want to tell you, I love this country.
And I do, too, and I love...
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 3 o'clock.